Alrighty. Oh, I've been knocking stuff over. Let me just tell you. So literally before I pushed like go live, I started choking like out of nowhere. Like I had something in my throat, like the kind where you get to the point where like you almost you gag and everything. And I was like, not at all today. Not at all, like just before I came on. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know if there's something with the throat chakra or what, but it was really weird. Like out of nowhere. So I was like, okie dokie. So. Alrighty. And I was like, do I come on? Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Ugh, dude. Take your shit back. I don't want it. Yeah, so it's warm season, right? It's gonna be warm. It's warm there, right? Or summer or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I gotta get me some different creamer because can I just say that the coffee's gross? You know, when you drink it because you got what you got and you just do it and it's like bleh. All right, where are we gonna start, Spirit? We're starting with divine doors. Like I have so much going on. Like already. And I'm like, okay. What is this about? Okay, so in thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost so can be found. They're giving me something different on this. It's almost as if now that you're in the clear, something can come back to you, or something can be kind of like revived or found again. Now that you're in the clear, because it says, in thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, like in thanks that my spirit is safe and sound now, all things that are lost so can be found. So it's literally like something coming back as a result of things being, you being in the clear for something. Oh, that's where I'm at too. That's why I'm like, in a couple of days, it's going to be 80. And I'm like, and right now it's 20. I'm like, oh, I knocked that out though. You discover your path in sacred walkabout, which feels a little bit like in the doing, in the seeking of the sacred to you. Like getting back to what's sacred to you, because it says you will find the will to survive, is almost kind of like in doing what feels sacred and right for you. Okay, you're safe and sound. Something that's lost can be found. Like I heard divine purpose. Like, I don't know. Maybe for somebody it's their divine purpose. Let's get a third one and see what the fuck they're. This is going to be the bane of my existence. Like, at what point, I'm about to go there. At what point is the idea of patience just a no? Like the whole idea of at what point do you get to where I feel like I have hair in my mouth. I don't know what's going on with that. Like there's a whole idea of you end up waiting your whole fucking life in the notion of being patient for something. Like at what point do we just say, no, I'm not going to be patient? I don't know where I'm going with this, but everything soon will come to light and then you will see things will be all right. Sometimes it feels like patience like the patience is a virtue and all kinds of things, like those little platitude things that people say, is kind of like just a cover up to keep people placated, for like to keep people in line on a string. Where are we going with this? And the other thing about the sacred walkabout is it talks about the trees are your people, the earth is your tribe. And that maybe I'm just getting somebody needing to be outdoors a little bit more. Like somebody needs to commune with nature just a little bit more. Something that was missing is gone, or again coming back. Something can be is it's safe for it to come back. There's something about something being able to, because you're safe. I don't know. It feels a little bit like, oh, I get it. Okay. There's something about entering into a safe space. The idea or notion of not having to be in fight or flight or instability or insecurity, and or survival mode. And once you're out of that, it's almost as if like the thing that you lost is your peace of mind, your health, your whatever. It's almost like in this whatever it was, you lost pieces of yourself, your health, your well-being. And so it's like time, like now that you're in the clear, you can do what is necessary to bring that back, which would be communing with nature, which would be getting out and doing the self-care. It feels like all the things that would help you both spiritually, but also physically simultaneously. And it's like it bringing you back into balance, like somehow healing your central nervous system. So it's almost as if you're going to be put back, like something's going to make your situation safe again, which gives you the liberty, they're saying, to recoup some of the things that you've lost. I was actually thinking about this, and maybe I didn't realize that was a channel. Like in the car on the way back from dropping my kids off, it was just coming through. And sometimes we talk about faith being a burden when you have to hold it for too long, but it was more or less like the idea of people who attempt to break free and out of the matrix, the programming of society, while it is still in existence and still being and still oppressing, can in and of itself be trauma. So can you imagine somebody who has healed through trauma of multitudes, and then decides that they are then going to live by their truth rather than this thing that's been constructed by capitalism and patriarchy and all that kind of shit. All the while, as you're breaking out, literally being beat down until you have a new trauma from just trying to get out. And that sometimes, for the sake of one's safety, security, and well-being, once you go through the healing process, is to try and manage to live and exist within the matrix than to break out, because it's almost like trying to maintain after you pulled out of that. The consistent fight of that can deteriorate one. So it's kind of funny. I feel like that's coming into this because I just brought that back up, and I'm like, I didn't even realize. Like sometimes my brain just goes, phew, you know what I mean? And like then by the time I get back here and I get started, I'm like, I don't put two and two together. And I'm like, oh, because there's this idea of being put back into some sense of safety. So this would be like, instead of survival mode, this would be thriving, or this would be stability, security, that type of thing, right? A sacred walkabout is getting back to your sacred essence, your sacred nature. It is getting back to one with oneself, right? There's a lot of healing that has to happen as a result of something that somebody's gone through. And so it's the feeling of, and I feel like the patience card is you'll see. You'll soon see. Because it literally says, obviously, soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. And it's like, you don't see this yet. You don't know this yet. So whatever is about to put you into a sense of safety and security, like something's going to happen that makes you safe again with whatever was making you feel unsafe before. And it's almost as if, like, you can't heal in the midst of your trauma because you are just being re-traumatized every second, every moment. Hence where that old adage of, like, you can't heal in the same environment where you were harmed. Well, you can if that harm is no longer present in that exact same environment. When they're talking about environment, they're talking about the conditions, not like, oh, I was still in, like, my hometown. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the conditions, the environment in which you existed when that trauma, if it is still consistently perpetuated, you cannot heal, because every second, every time you have a cell that heals, you have another cell that is damaged. You know what I mean? It's like, it's this, you can't get out of it. And so there's just this thing where something's going to happen and put you into it feels more like not a cocoon, but like a hammock, like how you would cradle of safety, so that you can work on getting back what you lost. So if somebody's been through something where they have lost something, like lost a part of themselves, like, I get everything. I feel like somebody has to, like, take a reprieve from life just to regroup and recuperate. It feels like there's something to heal, but not necessarily like, not the type of healing that is having to do shadow work type of stuff. It is like coming back from a fight and, like, having to really, it's your central nervous system. I feel like somehow your central nervous system, which dictates everything within your body, is connected to something, also your spiritual sense. It is like getting that mind, body, soul balance, spirit, whatever you call it. Because something has deteriorated somebody in some capacity. Okay. And this patience is nothing more than, you haven't seen it yet, you will see it soon. So this tells me somebody's not yet in the clear. Somebody's not yet in a situation where it's been made safe yet. Safe is subjective, depending on the circumstances and the person. Safety is more than just physical, guys. Okay. So this is like, okay. Okay. Sorry, I was just I was just trying to catch it. I know I look like a ding dong. All right, guys, so let's go here. Okay. I thought we were gonna go with something else. I got the Hermetic Tarot. Like, you're gonna be in the clear soon. I think somebody is like, needs to just, they're like, I just need a break from the barragement so that I've got to get back. I've got to get myself back to me. Like, there's just something, and I don't know if something ended up being prolonged, and it wore something. I mean, it's even like when the rain is too prolonged, it erodes the earth. You know what I'm saying? And then when the earth starts to be eroded, things collapse and start coming. You know what I mean? It's like a domino effect. So it feels very. So. Give me just a second, guys. It's weird because this whole middle section feels like it's just random cards coming out. Like I've got stuff here and these things, and I'm like, this feels like no energy at all. And every time I pull a card, it feels like no energy at all. I think I'm going to put these back, and I'll put this one back. Because I am pulling at strings. If I don't even feel an energy off of a card, like not any at all. Oh, did I got like a boo-boo there. Like almost like it doesn't belong. Like it's not meant to be here. Like sometimes I get interruptive messages, and I'm like, I don't entertain that. I'm not entertaining that. It's weird. Like it doesn't belong with the others. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this over here because I don't even know what that is. And there's a reason that I don't. I'm sure there's a reason cards coming out not feeling, and I can't pick up on it yet. So I'm gonna put it over to the side because it's like it has no place here, is what it feels like. That's got no place here. And there's not bad cards. It's like, well, I mean, one of them's not really good. It's like 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords. I don't get it. The other one had like 8 of Wands and High Priestess, you know, and things like that. I'm like, the two that I have here is Hermit and the Tower. Something's got to give. Getting a lot of Virgo energy off of the Hermit. So something's going to come in. I feel a major like physical rehabilitation associated with the thing that's been lost. Like either it has taken a toll on you mentally, and therefore like physically, like either you're actually having physical ailments, you're experiencing fatigue, like a low immunity to things. So you're easily getting sick. You may have headaches. You might have stomach aches. You might have like that kind of, I feel like somebody that has, or just being weak, like so weak that you're like, I don't even feel like enjoying, you know what I mean? Like it's taken a toll physically on whatever this is. And that feels like, it just feels like somebody's had to be at war, even if it was just internally, even if it was just trying to maintain the faith, right? And it just feels like, and Hermit feels like a lot of fucking work. It was just you. Like it was just you this entire time. It brings me back to the pulling out of the matrix type of situation where you feel like, I mean, honestly, it's like when you pull out and so many are hell-bent on pushing you back in, right, of the box, and the damage that you can incur from that, just trying to fight that. And then I get this sense of like, it's almost like punishing people who don't want to abide by. It reminds me of the CEOs, right? Where like the new working class is like, there's absolutely no fucking reason we have to go in and work this many hours and like work ourselves to the bone and give our entire life to you fucks and not have one of our own. It makes it not worth living. And you know, and they're like, so like the CEOs are like, well, we'll just bomb the economy until you get grateful for whatever. It's that shit. It is the when you step up and own your life and own yourself and own your trajectory, and the world around you attempts to put you back in your place, and you've had to fight against that. And it's like you against the world type of feeling, right? It feels exhaustive and mentally draining. That's that Virgo energy that I'm getting. And there's just something about the Tower coming to end this. And we have over here this level of self-preservation between the 4 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. Like getting just to a stable place so that you can then focus on you and take care of you and things like that, right? Here, we can block this motherfucker. We would just hide them so they can't come back. I'm sorry you had to do all that damn deleting. People, I swear. They're so bored in life. That's why they come on here and they're like, ha, and like they entertaining themselves with this shit. So dumb. Sorry about that, guys. Like yeah. 9 of Wands is protecting the self, that which you believe and fighting and like fighting for yourself. It is this next period is going to have to be you once you reach stability. And I don't even think it's going to be a long period, but I think somebody deserves it, is what it feels like. Like you deserve this time. Please take it. I just feel the need to dote on myself and to like get out of the fight or flight. I don't know. And here, the only thing that I can get from this is like the lack of work. It says Three of Pentacles, material of the material work, Lord of material work. Three of Pentacles we know is about, it is about work and building and creating and expanding and bringing something to life in this world, right? But then we have the Lord of Sorrow, which is the Three of Swords with the Three of Pentacles. And it just makes me feel like somebody who's been out of work or has lacked the support or has hated their work, has felt beat down and it reminds me of that CEO kind of situation. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of people feel this way right now, going through it where you can work yourself to the bone and still not have enough to live or survive. Like that's what's going on in the US. I don't know if anybody is aware of that, but that's what's happening here. Okay, so what is just tell us about the safety then. I don't want to use this one. That deck has kind of like been a little bit, yes. New era element, the safety. Tell me about what the safety is. Like this being safe and sound, what does that entail? What's going to happen to bring that about? It's going to clear something away. It's going to clean and clear and make something safe so that you can find your peace, your divinity again, your balance. Because if I don't, I won't have the will to survive. Like, so somebody it feels like, is your will to survive? Is your will to live like almost been sucked dry? Because this is pretty, we got another 3 guys. Exploration and expansion. Something coming in off of what? We want specifics here. What is bringing them the safety? What returns them to the sense of safety? I just heard incoming. We have the 3 of Wands with the Knight of Wands. 3 of Wands with the Knight of Wands. Somebody's either not enjoyed their work or hasn't had work. But that's been like where their crux of sorrow is the material world. I feel like something's shifting in the world. I'm trying to pull it down. We have something rapidly changing, like rapidly incoming. I can't get away from the 3 of Wands is incoming. Because y'all know the 2 of Wands is all about choosing the action towards your desire, right? How are you going to act on this? Wands are all about action, right? 3 of Wands is then waiting to see how that's received. You've done put it out into the world and it's coming back type of situation, right? That's the most basic energy of the 3 of Wands, hence why the ships are coming in. It's the waiting period to see about something. And then what comes your way comes back directly to you based upon what you've done. Whatever it is, it replenishes, and it's repletion. It replenishes everything. Like you're gonna be able to. Why are we talking like this? I'm about to pull those specific cards because it's kind of like. I think the focus is when this comes in for somebody, to to do absolutely everything you can and make it a priority to get yourself out of fight or flight. Because this is how people get into that stuck loop where when they're finally safe and secure and materially taken care of, and everything that kept you from being able to focus on you and expand and everything else like that, once that's taken care of, you're still in the energy of, I got to make sure it never happens again. And and it's like, you need to take care of you. Like something has taken a toll on you. And it's like, you're good. Don't worry. And I feel like somebody needs to hear this now before it arrives, that this is going to happen. This is a promise, is what I just heard. But when this comes, you really, I feel like you might have wished this. Like, I just want, it's almost like having worries squashed. Like when the ego or the id, the lizard brain, whatever you want to call it, is just constantly going, and like, it's like an ADHD person taking their meds and they're like, oh my God, the voice is stopped. Or somebody with OCD and you're just like, oh my God. Like it changes something, right? Like it's I need a fucking break is what it is. But see, that's the whole point. Your central nervous system will have you feeling and existing in like you were before, because it's work to reset your central nervous system. And you're going to have to, you need to do a lot to make sure. I think it's numero uno priority. That's the gist of what I'm getting. But for people, you are obviously saying that it's not here in this very moment. So the least we can do is offer up some understanding of this is like an elongated period of oppression for somebody. We do have the Ten of Swords, and literally in this deck, it's called oppression. And then we have failure, the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is all about waiting for something to pop off that doesn't. It is having planted seeds and waiting almost excessively to the point that it feels like failure. And sometimes it is in this scenario, because the seeds you planted don't bear fruit, don't even come through the ground. And so it's like, it's this feeling of, but so to me, the Seven of Pentacles is giving the energy of something very prolonged. A prolonged period of waiting for something to happen. Three of Wands. And I don't think that it's just that the wait was oppressive. I think somebody was left in a very, it reminds me of, I don't know if anybody watches Disney Channel and like Loki, the show, but they have this device for Loki. The TVA has this device where a box is placed around somebody and it can literally squish it. It squishes them. It makes them mush on the ground. And so it's like a box. And I just keep, and so they'll like shrink it to try and get somebody to talk. And that's what this feels like trying to get somebody to break. Somebody's been in a situation, and when it could be just the global situation. I obviously brought up the CEOs and things like that, right? Where they're like, we'll fucking break your back and make you grateful for what little morsel we give you. And sometimes to break out of that, like with some of these strikes that are going on, people actually have to put themselves into harm's way, into danger, into into places where they can't afford the food, the rent, the this, that, and the other, just to prove a point. Like, you have to outlast that in order to win. And if you do come out the other side of that, that battle may have taken something from you. And you may need to recoup. Just to stand up for yourself. Just to say, I'm worth this. I will not tolerate blah, 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 blah. And it's like, as a result, this could be somebody who refused to fucking take work where people were like, you'll have to do 60 hours and you have to do this and you have to do that. You know, it's like, I'm not taking from my family in that capacity. And they may have lived impoverished for quite some time because they were like, I refuse. I'm worth more than that. But in the interim, it was like a catch-22. Like you know what I mean? You can go to a soul-sucking job and get stuck in that loop for a decade, or you can, like, I'm aiming for something else, and I'm going to go through the valley of the shadow of death, you know what I mean, to get to the other side. And doing such was just, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes standing your ground, whatever is oppressive that wants to fight against you, can physically take a toll. Even depression ends up having physiological consequences, biological consequences. Trauma and things like PTSD can actually cause damage to the brain. They've shown that living with a narcissist actually causes damage to your fucking brain. So somebody has to, whatever this situation is, in the weight they were battling. And this could even, like, I even almost want to go, like, it may have been also, like, I don't want to exclude the idea or notion that it could have been spiritually a battle too. In the weight where they were left almost vulnerable and exposed. People could have endured all type, and it's like, and I'm not just talking woo-woo stuff either. Like, you spiritually may start to break down as a result of whatever external oppressive circumstance or environment you are enduring. Does that make sense? Okay. What is the Tower, please? Comfort. The Four of Cups in traditional wider weight is somebody sitting under the tree, all alone, staring at the Three Cups, waiting for something to come through, to the point of detachment, apathy, in order to survive, guys, in order to fucking survive. Anybody who has experienced trauma understands this. It's the shutting off, right? And it's like, it is the hermit mode. It is the up under the tree. But like the Four of Cups, this isn't a comfort of the familiar. This is waiting for comfort to arrive, is what it feels like, because in traditional radar, you got the cup coming out of the sky, and most of the time, the person doesn't yet see it. What's the Tower? Please clarify the Tower for me. Hey, Cappy. it just, even before I started pulling the cards, they're like, you win the battle. It is when we go to war against the powers that be and we win. Does that make sense? It is that energy. It is the going on strike and being without food. I mean, not food, like without money to buy food and pay for your bills and things like that. Run the risk of a eviction, all that kind of stuff. And then the compromise. You get exactly what you wanted. Like when you live in that immense state of fear and scarcity for that long just to get to where you were, it's like, it takes a little while. It takes a little while economically to recover. It takes a little while. It's like, let yourself recover. But the tower coming down is the tower of whatever was in the situation. It is the opportunity to rebuild. It is the hermit mode coming down. It is the having to take a step back. It's almost like being put on pause in life, where like you were very alone. You were fighting some kind of battle, because we have the Ace of Swords, which to me is something being cleared away. And then to clarify it, we have the Devil that came out, and I was like, oh yeah. The Tower is the thing that will give you rest and rejuvenation. And then the Four Swords. This is the recuperation card. This is taking care of the self. But they won't tell me what makes you safe, what comes in that puts you in a safe position. I do know there's a lot of sorrow and feeling separated and feeling like left out, left behind, and having to get through that. And it has something to do with your material world and your work and just like whatever, something in your material world, your work, career thing was beating you down. And something is going to come in. I'm going to try to give it one more fucking go. That puts you in a sense of safety, and it's going to be up to you. It's almost as if they don't want to say exactly so that it can't get taken away, so that this system or this person or this thing of oppression can't stop it. Let me put that up then. Because it's almost as if it's put out there, then something knows what to come for. This is just them trying to say, please, please, please trust us. It is going to happen. Everything soon will come to light, and then you will see things will be all right. You can't see it right now, but it's going to be okay. Yeah. And again, I recognize the big ask of that, because that did not feel good. So. Alrighty then. I hope that finds whoever it is meant for. Yeah. Got 5-5 up there. So hope it finds whoever it is meant for, and just sending you love as you wait. Try and help you through. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to hop off here. I hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful day, and I will see you guys later this week. This thing is